please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Zoom In with Ginny Pinua. Hi, everybody. I'm Ginny Schuster, and I am here with Jen Millard. I'm so excited to have her. I've heard her story that I am eager for everybody to hear. Some of the fears that she had to overcome, some of the challenges. It's amazing. Her business is Pure Source Wellness. So welcome, Jen. I can't wait for you to share all this information, how you got started, what the path was, and to give people all this great information about your product.
Sure. So thank you so much for your time. Excited to be here. Again, my name is Jennifer Millard and I moved to the Northern Colorado area a year ago, this month actually. And so I was a career social worker, is my background. And I thought I would always be doing that. I always had the desire in my heart to help other people. And what I found after 7 years in that profession is I was spending time with other people's children more than my own.
Oh,
So while I was helping people, it was on a very short scale. So I felt like a hamster on a wheel, basically, trying to work harder on my half than they were contributing on theirs sometimes. And there was so much trauma from the past and the people that I was working with that the recurrence of trauma just continued to escalate in their lives. So I did that path for 7 years. And as I was pregnant with our second child at the time, his name is DJ, and he's perfectly healthy. So there's zero emotional plea in my story. To date, he is perfectly healthy. But I was in downtown Denver doing a training, and my water broke. I was 26 weeks pregnant. The doctor at that time said, "Look, your water didn't break. I'll see you in 2 hours." I was like,
oops.
my water broke. So I drove to the hospital and waited 2 hours until my appointment was there. And of course, I never left until I was taken away to the hospital for 3 weeks until I gave birth on bed rest. So gave birth at 29 weeks to little DJ. And at birth, he was 2 pounds, 15 ounces.
Oh
And
my goodness, that's so tiny.
yes, yes. The doctor had said 7 weeks and he'll be out of here. He looks great, which was a miracle. And on day two, after about 12 hours after a vitamin K shot, he had a grade 4 brain hemorrhage. So over four ventricles, all four ventricles were damaged, over 97% of his brain. They couldn't give him the medication and or the surgery because the risk was too high of causing more bleeding. And they said he wouldn't survive, but if he did, he would never walk and never talk. He was in flight for life to Rocky Mountain Children's Hospital, where we spent the next 108 days of our lives.
Whew.
Beautiful souls within that hospital. I love that hospital and the staff members there. He undergone several brain surgeries, and including a shunt. Doctors continued to say that he would never walk and never talk, and if he did walk, it would be with a walker due to cerebral palsy. So we spent 4 months in the hospital. He had also had the worst digestive issues the doctors had ever seen. So at 108 days, he was discharged and we brought him home. So from 108 days to 10 months old, we had explored every acid reflux medication on the market for adults. We had explored essential oils, acupressure, consistent chiropractic care for reflux. And what had happened over that 6 month span is I was eating an all raw diet and drinking electrolyzed reduced water and feeding him thickened breast milk for 6 months of his life in an infant seat because that's all that he could tolerate basically. So finally at 10 months, he was 12 pounds.
Oh, oh,
And the doctors had said, "Jen, you have tried everything literally on the market. You can't do this any longer. We have to schedule a feeding tube surgery." I had this water unit on my countertop the entire time we were struggling, but I had no idea the power of it. I bought it because it's good for digestion and hydration and puts the body in homeostasis so the body stays healed. But I didn't look into some of the research that backs it. So that day, the mom intuition hit me and I went on Google. Not everything on Google is correct, but this was. And I had found some research by the grace of God. And I sent it to his doctor and he said, "You can try it. Don't get your hopes up," were his exact words. And I just put it in a bottle. So as he continued to drink it, 2 weeks later, I weaned him off all his medications. So
Ooh.
zero reflux meds in 2 weeks. Up until that point, he hadn't had a bowel movement in 6 months on his own without enemas and laxatives every other day.
Oh, poor
So
thing.
he started having bowel movements on his own, and he's never been on one medication since then. We canceled the feeding tube surgery, which was beautiful, of course. His doctor immediately said, Jen, I know you're a great mom, but I've never heard anything like this, so I need you to bring him in. I think he thought I was falsifying the result because I was terrified of the surgery. And for him, like I don't blame him at all. I mean, that's it's pretty miraculous, right? So
It is.
I want to be very clear that the water, even though it's backed by scientific research, that the water doesn't cure, treat, or heal anything, but we are 80% water. So if we're putting water in our body,
Our bodies are, just to bring it more clarity on that, our bodies are. I know most people know that, but I just like to add that.
sure, sure. Yeah, our physical bodies are 80% water. Every function in our body requires water, right? So when you have a water that fights inflammation, which is the root cause of all diseases, versus other waters that are inflammatory and promote inflammation, you're giving your body an easier, better chance to get in balance. And when the body's in balance, we heal ourselves. That's what
That's
happens.
amazing. Absolutely amazing that you came across that. What's funny, not really, but the fact that you had it on your counter for all that time and you had no idea that you had the answer right in front of you.
Isn't it always right in front of us?
Yes.
Isn't
And
it?
and here's something interesting. There are, our audience are also men, and they may not know necessarily that the average, I believe, average baby born, aren't they between 6, 7 pounds to 12 pounds or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. So the lowest he got was 1 pound during when he was having his brain surgeries. And the doctors also said he had an eye disease. He was injured and it caused an eye disease. The medication did, and he was misdiagnosed, unfortunately. So his prognosis was to be blind in his left eye by 2 years old, and he'll be 8, and his eyesight is perfect. There's no evidence of any disease. So he's just a little miracle.
He's going to be our future sports kid.
Yeah, yeah,
Is he into any sports?
yes, he loves basketball. He's fabulous at golf. He's
Oh, there you go. And you live on a golf course, I believe, right?
we do, and he wins fair and square about 8 out of 10 times every time he and I play together.
Mom and dad are so proud. Oh, what a hardship. And for so long, that means that even for yourself, you're going through a lot of stress as well as your husband. Concerns about, are you taking the right steps? Are you getting enough information? And give us more information about the water product.
Sure. So really it's a device that transforms tap water, and it's Sony technology that was developed in 1974. It's used in international hospitals, including hospitals in Japan, and where it's licensed as a medical device in that country. So it's backed by thousands and thousands of medical research articles. And again, we don't say or promote that it heals anything, but it does help put the body in balance so that the body can heal itself. So it fights, let me say, the three properties of the water that are so important that help to put the body in balance is an increase in pH. It hydrates the body 8 times more than any other liquid available on a cellular level. It's named one of the best detoxes that you can ever put in your body, and it's consistently detoxing the cells in your organs and our blood. And we're bombarded by toxins every day from pesticides and airborne pathogens, what's on our food, GMOs, all kinds of things are popping up these days, right? So our bodies are consistently working to detoxify on a continual basis. And so for me and my family, we strive to be in balance. Nobody wants to live in a bubble and scared to walk outside. However,
Right.
if we can control the type of water that we're drinking to make it easier on our body, to be in homeostasis and to live a life full of energy and vitality and proper digestion and vibrance, right? What more could anybody want? What more can anybody ask for in life? And
Right,
healthy and vibrant.
exactly.
Like, isn't that the number one goal for most people?
I think so. If you don't have health, you can't create wealth.
Exactly. Great point. Great point. And then another property of the water, of course, is the high anti-inflammatory benefits. It's about 20 times greater in antioxidants than vitamin C.
That's huge because I believe an awful lot of people complain about aches and pains, and the concern that it turns to be is inflammation of the body. Whether you're an athlete, they're a huge one, or whether you're sedentary, it just seems to settle in different areas of your body. And you may not know it, and then all of a sudden it creeps up on you,
Mhm.
especially as you get older. You think that you're athletic, you can handle all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, it seems as though your body starts to go in breakdown. Now, Jen, a question is, I've been to your house. I want people to know that we met through the Dot Sisters, a powerhouse networking group, which was so much fun. And I got to go to her house and I got to see what it looks like. Can you explain to the viewers, give us them an idea of what it looks like? It's, I believe, very simple to set up and also to work. Give us a little explanation about that.
Sure, sure. So the machines either go on top of your countertop or underneath your sink, depending on customer preference. Aesthetically, what works for you and your family or your business and your clientele. You can hook up the machine and it's totally portable. It takes about 2 minutes to hook up. I've traveled with my machines to Nicaragua, California, all over the United States, all over to Mexico. It's just huge peace of mind for me and my family that we're having the best water in our body that promotes our highest health. Units do last anywhere from 20 to 30 years, so it's one product that you're going to buy over your lifetime. At 20 or 30 years, you won't, it's very unlikely you'll need a whole unit, but you may need a part or two replaced. So very, very durable. There's no other technology that has a licensed medical device in the world except for this company. So I am so grateful that one of my really good friends 10 years ago introduced me to this company, and I was actually open-minded enough to go try the water in Colorado Springs. So I was driving an hour each way to grab water. I was super grateful because that time in my life, I was in my early 30s and I had severe joint pain. I was also in child welfare, so I was working an extreme amount of hours a week, very, very high stress. And within a week of driving to get water, my joint pain was completely gone. And all they were testing me for rheumatoid arthritis. Everything came back negative, but it was super severe. And I never experienced anything like that in my entire life. But within a week, it was totally gone. So I don't know what would happen if I stopped drinking the water because I've been on it for almost 10 years now. And I've never gone more than a day without it for sure. You can take it on the plane too because it's licensed as a medical device. So you could carry on a bag of water if you wanted
Is
to.
it very big?
The unit you can carry on the plane, yeah, but you can also carry on the water through TSA.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's
Oh,
great.
the unit's about the size of a shoebox.
Oh, okay, that's really small and easy to hook up.
Yep.
One thing I've heard about is the our water has a lot of chlorine in it. And I know for myself, I can turn on the faucet and I can smell some of the chlorine. Do you have some sort of gadget that you can use for your shower?
Yeah, the company has what's called an Anespa product, and it removes 99.999% of the chlorine as the machine does. That's a great question and just a great thing that you bring up because women who are being diagnosed with breast cancer right now, they're finding 60% higher amount of chlorine byproduct in the breast tissues. Chlorine's actually classified as a pesticide
Wow.
and it's in our water, our drinking water. And what happens when we get in the shower is chlorine turns into a gas. So not only is it absorbing in your skin within 20 seconds of being in the shower, it's also absorbing into your lungs.
Oh my
As
goodness.
you breathe. So honestly, if you're looking for something, a solution that's going to remove chlorine and other contaminants and rust, you can contact me and I can help you with that. It's a shower and bath unit and it also has 1,200 natural occurring minerals in it. So it's from a Japanese hot spring, which is super amazing. And if you're somebody right now that doesn't want to make that investment, but you're looking to get only the chlorine out of your shower, what I recommend is go to a vitamin cottage or a local health food store and grab a chlorine reduction filter. It's going to take like a minute and a half to put on your shower. It goes in between your pipe and your shower head, but it could potentially, literally, potentially save a life, you know?
Wow. That makes me think, Jen, that maybe some of that could cause some of the inflammation in our body. Do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, chlorine it is connected to many diseases, as are the contaminants of in tap water, including
Uh-huh.
what they're calling forever chemicals. And it's basically from fire retardant and other plastics. And they're very, very high. So in the northern Colorado area, we can pull water quality reports right through the EPA. And what we're seeing is that those contaminants are about 426 times higher than
Wow.
the health limit. And then you can look and see what that contaminant is related to in the body, and the potential cause of that is cancer. So that is an area of concern.
That's huge, as especially we see cancer, different types of cancer, the number go up in America on and friends, relatives who have had cancer and how you treat it, how it is treated.
Mhm.
So that's gets me thinking that way toward cancer. That's a terrific way. Not that it's cured. You can't ever say that, oh, this product cures, but but part of our society is seeing that there are tons of toxins in this world, and how do we best combat it? Some people do a lot of organic food and they're very meticulous about the food that they eat, or they have to be gluten free, all sorts of things that the doctors are saying cut back here, cut back there. So it's interesting to think about water being a huge part of this process of what things we should consider when we're trying to get healthy again.
Mhm.
Now, that had to have been quite the fear for you to overcome. I cannot imagine going on for that length of time. That's hugely stressful for you also, you, your body, the family of what you're dealing with. So therefore, it's hard for you to focus on these other people and your job being in the social field.
It was really interesting because as soon as he was born, nothing, I mean, guess my immediate family mattered, right? Of course, and taking his best care, but nothing else outside of our family was really relevant at that point. Like you really learn when you go through something like that what the point of life is and what the point of life is not, you know? And until that moment when I was literally grateful that he took his first breath on his own weeks after he was born, 3 weeks after he was born, I had never been grateful for breath before.
Oh my goodness.
That
That
was
really,
a monumental moment in my life. It just changed me in such a beautiful, good way. Yes, it was very challenging. Yes, there were a lot of trauma that happened during that time. However, that opportunity really to really figure out what matters in life and everything we take for granted and that we put so much emphasis on that at the end of the day doesn't mean much.
right.
That was a beautiful way for me to be able to see life through new lenses. And it needed to happen.
How long did it take you to overcome that and decide that that is the message that you wanted to tell the world and to get out there and talk about this business? Ultimately, because this business is what turned your life around.
Yes, exactly. So he was discharged, my little guy was discharged around Christmas. And so he was 4 months old. So at 4 months old, he was just over 6 pounds. At 4 months old.
Ready to be born, come out of the oven.
Exactly. It was just right on his due date when he got discharged, his little sweetie. Actually, a little bit later. And then a friend and I started this business together, and that was in March, so about 3 months afterwards. And really, I had zero sales experience whatsoever. I didn't even like anything to do with sales, and I feel like this isn't really sales, it's sharing. But yes, there's the component of people are buying a product, of course that's there. um and I had never even sold like a Girl Scout cookie my entire life. I was so passionate because I had been praying for a solution, and I had one on my countertop for 6 months, right? It was the
Yep.
missing piece to his perfect health. We were doing everything else, and everything else was working as best as it could. So I'm not saying that water's the answer. What I'm saying is when you have like you're praying, and that's my belief, right? You're praying, and you're doing all that you can do, your positivity, and you're changing your diet, and you're going and using maybe holistic different types of chiropractic to put the body into balance, but you're missing the component of 80% of what the human body is made out of, which is water. I missed it, for 10 months, and it was right on my countertop. So I knew that people were praying for the solution that I had just found. And the day it literally transformed his body transformed with the right water and all the other things we were doing. I knew I was going to share it. So I started sharing it with people. I had no clue what I was doing. And I was just sharing his story and then giving out free water. And with this business, we get to give out free water to people, which is beautiful because they get to experience a difference.
I remember when I was at your house and there were people in line getting your water, and you were just sitting there filling it up at the sink, and okay, who's next? And I'd see someone walk out with two, and I'm going, oh my goodness, she's letting them walk out with one bag, two bags of water. Oh yes, she says, when it's my turn, yes, I do this, it's free, no charge. It's really funny to, and everybody loved it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And
I
you,
mean, I love the business model, right? Give away free water. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be out of business.
right,
When it
right.
does work, obviously, people are going to tell other people, and they're going to come get more water or get information. But I can help somebody, with something going on inside their body, and they're able to notice a difference. Some people within hours, some people within weeks, just depending on the person and the amount they're drinking and what's going on in the body. That's beautiful.
It
That's
is. And then you get reports from them as they come back and fill up more. I'm sure you ask them for what they noticed, what change they noticed. What's the most radical change that you noticed when they came back for more water that somebody mentioned to you?
Oh, so there's a lot. I will say I had a lady one time, 31 years old, that literally um sold her car to get a machine. And she had had a lot of experience at the Mayo Clinic. And then I had met her one time at a function, and she was having a hard time walking. She was very, very young, 31 years old.
31.
And
Wow.
in a couple weeks, she decided that this is what was going to work for her. And she had, her body had been showing her that she had been feeling better, and she was able to sell her car and purchase a machine.
That's amazing. And she's probably got another car by now.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, right? I don't know. She was riding the bus for over a year actually, but she had a job as a banker, and I have permission to share her story as well. And she said that her life totally changed. Like she literally went skipping out of my house that day she purchased. And the only reason I bring up the Mayo Clinic is because she had a lot of medical bills because of that. So that impacted her ability to really be able to to get her machine for $42 a month. That wasn't
Now
enough.
you bring up a great point, Jen. An awful lot of people are concerned that I'm paying insurance. All these doctors and surgery and medical stuff are pretty much covered by insurance. Why should I spend that money on a water machine? And when you try to put that in perspective about your insurance versus getting better, people don't understand. Even you're paying insurance and you're buying all these prescriptions. Let me ask you, is that really making you feel better? Are you getting better, or is it a band-aid where you're getting badness or inflammation in your body someplace else?
Sure, sure. I mean, really, if you think about it with health and wellness, right, that we are either going to pay on the front end to keep our body healthy and in alignment with our, perfect health, or we're going to pay on the end, of our life when diseases and things come up. That's very expensive. One chemo treatment's around $6,000. That's just on average.
Right,
And then what does that toxicity do? Like even medications, yes, they can help to mitigate a problem, but they do not treat the underlying cause. They don't. And then there's
right.
toxicity that occurs that the body has to deal with after the medication is taken and the body's broken that down. So
Well,
it's
I hope everybody has picked up on the fact that water is a huge component of our bodies and the importance of having the best water put into your system. Are there any other comments that you would have that would like to share with our viewers here, Jen?
I would say that if anybody's interested in trying the water or would like more information geared to what, you or a family member are interested in or might be experiencing currently at the moment in this life, this journey that we call life, to reach out, even if you live in a different country, even if you live in a different state. We do have people all over the world that literally open their arms to help other people by sharing water. And I'm happy to get you in touch with somebody in your area if that's possible to help you.
That's right. And why don't you mention where you are? I don't think we brought that up.
Yes, so I am actually in the northern Colorado area.
And go ahead and give your phone number. We'll post it on this video.
Sure, so my direct number is 719-671-1563.
And they can email you or connect with you. I just connect with you on LinkedIn, so I know you're on there.
Mhm.
And there are lots of ways to get in touch with you. If you've got any questions, as you can see, Jen has all sorts of answers and responses. If she doesn't know the answer, I know her. She's going to help you get connected to getting the right answer. So thank you, Jen, so much for coming on and sharing all this great information about the importance of water in our body.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.